Whoops. Oh, excuse me. All right, and we are live. Uh, so today we're going to be covering Rift Sharks versus Skaven Kill Team. I think this is going to be a very good matchup today. Notably, we have a pretty strong fielding from the side of Rift Sharks. It looks like that they're going to that giraffe fishy style roster, which we have seen multiple times, and it's been uh, a very good solid roster. It looks like that Skaven Kill Team themselves have decided that they want to field Ray today instead of Sam. So that should be pretty exciting to see, like a bit more from Ray, as a with a it looks like what appears to be a pretty wide champion pool so far from what we've seen, and that could be a really point of strong or a nice point of strength, excuse me, as more and more we are going to see Rift Sharks continue to try to, I guess, just get back into the swing of things, because this was one of the predicted top teams, and Skaven Kill Team was not one of the predicted top teams. So it should be interesting to see how these two teams match up specifically, and sure, hopefully we can start to see more picks start to come out as there is a new patch and things in this game are just continuing to develop as more and more champions are going to hopefully start to be played. But it is going to be exciting to see what players start to opt into. And for Giraffe, I feel like this Kog'Maw pocket pick has been actually exceptional. For the most part, it appears that most teams don't have a very solid answer to it, but I think that there is probably hesitation to pick the Kog'Maw mid due to not having that same level of safety as many other mid laners do have, as the champion is a very vulnerable champion if it does get sent on by anything. But that's neither here nor there. As on the side of SKT, the new members, Tuxedo and Ray, should be really interesting to see how they function together, as I do believe that they have played together before. So having these a top and a support that's familiar should be pretty interesting. There is a level of depth, I feel, to this Skaven Kill Team roster, even though that they might not have the same record as Rift Sharks. I think that they're a pretty strong team. Apari is actually playing very well. I think that his Viego pick has been actually a strong point for SKT specifically. There's been a lot of times where there might not be as nearly as much safety as you would want in a draft, but because of just being able to reliably fall back onto this Viego pick, it makes things a lot more simpler. And we are hopefully soon we will be getting into draft. And I think that, going into draft, I feel like that they're just going to target Giraffe's champion pool, as well as probably maybe just target the mid pool. Looks like we are getting into it, as both sides have ready up, and there we have it. The Viego pick, strong point for Apari. They're obviously the Sharks just going to take it away, don't want to deal with it. As it looks like they're going to answer to Xerath, but Giraffe hasn't really got to play the Xerath that much, as it looks like they're actually going to respond with also taking another power pick away from the side of Skaven Kill Team, that Aatrox that Tuxedo is very well known for, and it's very powerful on. Another thing to note about Rift Sharks is that they have decided that Chow is going to be in for today, which a very solid, reliable tank player, and so it's going to be interesting what he's going to decide to pick. Looks like they will take away the Syndra, as I think that they're concerned that Draft might just fall back onto a Syndra blind, which will make a lot of things very simple. And it looks like the Lilia is going to be going away as well, as Fishy, very well known for the Lilia. So that's just going to be gone. I'm very curious to see what Rift Sharks picks here, with a lot of these power picks gone early in this draft. Okay. Looks like they are thinking on it, as it's kind of not easy. I think that I really like Skaven Kill Team's first few bans. I'm not actually. Well, I like 2 of their bans out of 3. I'm not sure about the Xerath. I'm not sure if you really need to ban Xerath like consistently, as they do just pick the Rakan from the side of Rift Sharks. As Fernic, really comfortable on Rakan. So it's just seeing that they are going to be going into support here. However, that is going to give the support counter over to the side of Skaven Kill Team. Looks like they're going to be taking a Phelios, probably for Nevada, and maybe if you do pick Rakan, I feel like you probably are going to want to pick some sort of counter engage. I mean, enchanters are fine. I think Renata would be perfect actually for the side of Skaven Kill Team if Ray plays it. I wonder if they can find it here in this draft. As more and more it appears that we are actually seeing like, a very different opening how we normally see to other drafts with so far. People actually normally would opt into like the solo lanes, like some of the solo lane picks early, but it looks like that they are just gonna take the Vi for the side of Skaven Kill Team. Should be pretty good. Vi, very high lockdown, prevents Evan from picking like any sort of hyper carry. Fishy's just gonna fall back on Hecarim, and it looks like a Victor from the side of Rift Sharks. And I think that's where you're gonna see the small mistake in Skaven Kill Team's like initial like preparation for bans. I think that Victor instead of Xerath would have been a much more better ban, because now like Giraffe has a champion he's extremely comfortable on, and honestly has a lot more potential to do more in this game versus the side of SKT. And I'm curious to see how GameCase goes about this as a response. It looks like they're gonna go Poppy. Poppy pick. I mean, it's gonna Rakan. I am not a fan of it. Well, it's gonna Rakan and it does deny. However, I feel like the problem with the Poppy pick is that now like you're opening up like the second phase to like more bans, which are probably be mid-targeted bans, which can be very annoying if you are trying to if you do have a mid pick you want to blind. But it looks like they're not going to opt in that. It looks like they're just going to keep banning out Tuxedo. They take away the Xayah from Evan, take away a bit more comfort for the side of Rift Sharks. And Bessa, I think, is an excellent ban. It protects your Victor, keeps I feel like Mbessa plus Vi is a very lethal combo to any hyper carry, but at least if you take away the Mbessa, you're gonna remove a bit more of that threat. They're gonna take away Smolder as well, and it looks like they're gonna opt into Gwen for the side of Rift Sharks, so that's gonna be Gwen. And I mean, it's kind of a rough game. I think that I'm not sure if I agree with I'm not sure Rift Sharks. I feel like you don't need to take away top lane champions. I think that you'd actually rather pick, or I think that you'd rather just maybe squeeze the mid pool a bit more because it's already so squeezed. But now Nevada, okay, Veigar. Okay, so that's gonna be a Veigar mid into Victor. I'm not sure if that's a matchup you'd want to opt into. I mean, Victor pretty much just has a very easy scaling lane. Even though Veigar does scale, Veigar's laning is quite horrible compared to Victor, and Victor is probably one of the best mage. And it looks like just 2 insta-locks from the side of Rift Sharks. They're just going to go Twitch and Sion. So we do actually end up seeing the hyper carry bot lane. Even though there is a Vi, there's not as much there's not that much dangerous follow-up. So I actually really do like this pick here. And there's also a decent amount of peel for the side of Rift Sharks in that Rakan, and also the other CC parts that comp has. But Sion, a really nice blind from the side of Rift Sharks. See, they're just going to enter. They're going to go Yone here. So it's going to be a Yone top. I feel like Skaven's Kill Team has kind of their draft was initially looking like a very dive, team fight, focused, heavy draft in the beginning part of their draft. But it looks like they've just opted into going into a much more controlled side lane-esque draft. I think that for this game, for Skaven Kill Team, you're going to root Apari needs to play this very, very, very well. This can become a very difficult game if he's not careful. I mean, so far, I feel I don't know. I feel like this could be fine for Skaven Kill Team, but I think Apari needs to play a very, very careful game. He needs to be cautious about just going in randomly. Rift Sharks, I actually think their comp's actually pretty easy. All it is pretty much just go in, kill the Vagar, kill the Ophelia, or just kill the Aphelios. Sion just needs to like not like give you like not just fall that far behind inside, and just try to like stay relatively like slightly like behind like the Yone. This can get very concerning very quickly though.
I think obviously super unbiased here, but I think the Yone pick is pretty solid into the Scion, but I think it's probably going to struggle against the rest of the team. I think it has a bit of an upside because Twitch and Victor are immobile, so if he is able to find a good angle on both of those, I think it's it could be pretty devastating. But I feel like the snapback is actually super easy for the rest of them to punish. So he needs to find a really good engage every single time with the Yone to get a lot of value out of it. And I think Vagar is going to struggle to connect onto the carries. He's going to be pretty outranged, and he's not really going to kill Scion. But it could be dangerous for the Hecarim or the Rakan if they go too far up into it. I think Vi does actually have a decent amount of value onto either the Victor or the Twitch. It just depends on if she's able to have the rest of the team finish her off. Nevada had a solid game on the Aphelios in the last series, though, so I'm excited to see that come back again.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be really interesting to see. I think that this, man, I feel like the real like shining part of Skaven like SKT's draft is just the Yone. There's like a lot, not very many ways Rift Sharks has of dealing with the Yone easily. I mean, they have like that Rakan, like maybe like like they have the snap engage from the Rakan and the Hecarim as well. But Yone kind of just chews everyone else apart, especially if he gets ahead and he gets really strong in the side lane. It's also
it feels like it's going to be like a mini game where if he can get all he needs to get done before he snaps back, he should be fine. But it's like super easy for Rift Sharks to camp the body if they're able to get in range.
Yeah, really easy to camp the
they'll
body.
Play out interestingly.
But I think that if SKT is playing correctly, I think that they actually never even try to fight 5v5 versus Rift Sharks. I think that you don't ever even want to try to like take the 5v5. Or if you only take the 5v5 when like you're much stronger than Rift Sharks.
Yeah, the tragic thing there though is that kind of neuters Aphelios as a champion because he's so dependent on being involved in 5v5s and getting a lot of damage down. So it'll be interesting to see how they play it out. I feel like they have like a couple subsets of 3 champions that all want to do the same thing, but it's not a super cohesive composition overall. IMO.
I completely agree. I think Aphelios is like really, really difficult this game. You pretty much have to be careful of this Hecarim, this Rakan, and Twitch is going to be invisible, so you're not going to be able to like to position correctly till like right when you see him. Okay, I think the game is we're just doing spectator delay. Okay, yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, just screen share it once you're in. Yeah, I was just like too nervous. I like normally can like sit around and just chill while the game plays out, but I was like, let me talk about the game as it's happening this time around.
It's okay. We can see whether or not this I mean actually I feel like I think this I think that man, I don't know. It's actually a tough one. This is actually not a very easy. I see like strong points and weak points of both like drafts actually. Like it's not like as simple as like you would think. Like just thinking about this just think about this draft. I mean,
whichever like gets a lead first out of the Hecarim and Yone, I think is going to be really impactful. And if they both get a lead, I think we're in for a certified banger.
Yeah, I think it is certified banger. I mean, I think the oh my god, I can't speak. The big thing is this Victor is like has such Vigar Victor lane is just so hard for Vigar to play. Like it's such a difficult lane to play. I mean, you pretty much
super interesting pick for them to pick into the Victor. I was pretty surprised seeing that come up in draft, especially because I know Game Case plays champions that synergize really well with the Vi and do better into Victor. But
yeah, I mean, like Vagar like pretty much what happens is like you can't. Normally you can like do like the little Veigar trick, like where like a lot of like mages where like you can like cast your E and try to like like hit him with like the very like edge of like your E. You can't really do that against Victor because his E has he has such like long range with his own E, so he punishes you. And then not only that, but he actually has decent mobility from his Q, which is like one of the worst things is like to go against his Veigar. So like you can't. It's hard to hit spells on him to begin with. And so pretty much the entire lane, you're getting hit by like these like E's that are like just undodgeable. Pretty much, it's on the Victor to like to hit it. And then not only that, but like you can't even land your own spells back because he has just like so much extra movement speed. Like that, it's just ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous. It's a very very unfair lane. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Game Case has had a really good season so far, so I think this definitely could be a game where if he pops off, it solidifies him as one of the higher tier mid laners. But I think, as you've pointed out, it's not likely that that's going to happen, especially I feel like in the Giraffe. But I think Giraffe had a weaker performance compared to his average last week, and if that streak continues, I think that could be a window for SKT to punish. But when he's on a champion that he's as comfortable on as Victor, I think that is a little less likely, to be honest.
I was very surprised in the draft that they banned Xerath over Victor. I feel like Xerath as a champion doesn't function as nearly as well as one would believe. Hold on, let's see. Okay, there it is. All right. So it is interesting to see that they actually decided that they were. I'm not sure. Maybe they just missed it. Maybe they just missed the Victor in draft.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something he's gotten to play a lot this season, obviously, due to it normally being banned. But I mean, I think in situations like this, I always just kind of assume that since Giraffe is a player that has a bunch of champions that tend to get banned out, that they just ask Case, like, what do you want banned? And he probably picks 2, and they just go off of that. Yeah. I think matchups are a little less important mid lane than they are top, but I think that still is a good strategy around mid.
Yeah. Nice. Really nice Q to start off the lane. And it looks like Fishy's taking a base because it looks like he forgot to buy jungle items. So that's very unfortunate for his clear.
Not good. Yeah.
But good damage actually coming after Chow, but it looks like Yone does have lethal, so he is going to end up winning this trade as nothing to come top lane. But yeah, that's gonna make this game a bit difficult.
Yeah, especially because we called out Hector needs to be the one that wants to
yeah, you're supposed to be the one out clear.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a tiny bit. This might be the game a bit unfun. I mean, you're gonna be punching yourself that way. It's not like completely over there. I mean, the enemy team doesn't have the knowledge that you didn't. Like if they had the knowledge, then this would be a very different ordeal. But they don't. So he should be able to just clear down. He might not be able to get both the Scuttle Crabs, but he should be able to at least get his full clear done.
Yeah, if Fishy kind of predicts that he doesn't know and won't play around the Scuttle Crabs correctly, I think they actually probably could even out at 24 CS or 28 CS a piece after this, but it would definitely need some clear speed going out from the Hacker. Scuttle Crabs are already beginning this run.
Cool, yeah. And like really nice trade coming out there mid. I mean, you're already seeing it like Giraffe just sidesteps the Q, sidesteps the W with for the enhanced movement speed from his Q. Dishes gets a really nice trade, dishes the damage, and it's just looking a bit favorable. I mean, Game Case does have another pot to rely on though, so I think anything.
Top lane's in a really bad spot for Chowda. The lane's pushing in.
Yeah, it looks like that Tuxedo's going in, Q going forward, looking for maybe something. Fate Sealed actually does get the kill with the Ignite. Solo kill on the top lane from Tuxedo, and Chow making a uncharacteristic error.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you see the wave state get like that, when there's so many of Chow's minions left alive pushing into him, it's kind of just doom. As Scion, you can at least try and clear the wave out and get something in return, but given how much they traded earlier with the lethal fully stacked on Yone, he was just kind of fucked there. And he might be able to get the return kill. Might be able to get the return
kill. I'm not sure Tuxedo maybe overstepped, but no, it doesn't look like he has the Q to fall for it. And I mean, Tuxedo does have flash, so a bit difficult. Looks like that Fishy is maybe looking up the bot side. But Tuxedo going a bit too far as Chow flashes forwards, gets the solo kill back. Tuxedo just not respecting the damage of the Scion. As it looks like that Apari might be face checking a Hecarim here, but that is a Hecarim, and he does have phase risk. Not going for anything. Firing dashing forward. Ray going in, as it looks like that Nevada may be able to take out Evan. No, he doesn't. He goes down instead to Evan, as it looks like that's going to be a kill going over to the side of Rift Sharks in the bot side.
Yeah, Nevada's Shide pronouns, by the way.
Excuse me. Apologize. She. I think that also, that play from the side of Nevada or not Nevada, I'm sorry. Evan and Fryrennick was really good. But I do think that the initial flash stun from the Poppy was excellent.
So good.
Yeah, it was really nice actually to look at, but unfortunately, I don't think the Hecarim was close enough. As it looks like that Game Case might be in trouble. Burns the flash early, but yeah, that's gonna be all of it. But that's a really nice gank actually coming from Fishy. Really good early pressure actually on this map.
And he's going to get the crab, so he's not even that far behind.
He's not even that behind. It didn't matter in the end. It never, ever does.
That's actually absurd.
I think that if... I don't know if I liked that early, pathing from Apari. I think that if you just... if you just clear, I feel like you just need to play to just full clear, this game especially. It's really easy to get outpaced by Hecarim to begin with, and... if he matches you on one thing, it's just... the play is dead, basically. It's really, really annoying inside of SKT.
Yeah, and actually you saw in the bot lane play earlier, I feel like Frentic kind of got paralyzed. He was just walking in between the two of them. I feel like the pressure that the Poppy's putting down on Rakan is super valuable, and I just wonder how much it's going to pan out later in the game, because Rakan is the best.
Ultimate getting burned out here on the side of Chow, but he dodging away with the Fate Sealed as Sudo maybe looking for more, getting a really good amount of damage. Showing up, he's actually, he's just going Fate Sealed, going in Q3. I'm not sure if Tuxedo wants to take that though, and he actually does get the kill, as it looks like he should be able to get away. I'm not sure if Chow can't chase him. No, yeah, it doesn't look like it. Tuxedo getting another kill there. I'm not sure if Chow even realized that he was in danger there at all. As this mid lane is just so difficult. Giraffe's already up almost 25 CS, but Apari is waiting in the wings. Doesn't look like he will. Actually, the ultimate is going to get burned, as the Chaos Storm is going to be tearing Game Case apart, as Apari is going to have to run for his life. And Shark's just winning across the map, except the top lane at the moment. But Evan, it looks like, is trading back here on the bot side, as Nevada and Ray both going to back up.
If either bot duo hits 6, kind of out of nowhere,
here comes the Hecarim. The horse. It is the year of the horse after all, and why not? Fishy going forward, does have the phase rush popped, as looks like that they are going to be taking down Nevada. Yes, they take her down, and Ray going to be preserving his own life. Cito continuing the fight here in top side.
Yeah, Apari could be looking for a gang top. I think that
Giraffe walking into the stun on character mistake, but it's going to be a really nice trade for Game Case. Yeah, I think Apari actually... I think Chow did sense the danger in time, but I'm not sure if Giraffe does sense the danger. Actually, they're just going to send it on to Giraffe. Flash is traded. Jungler for mid.
A really good reaction time from Giraffe there. Just immediately reacts to it, but I think that does secure SKT the Dragon.
Autos, and these trades are just not looking very fair. And this is a Yone with lethal tempo, and he does have it still stacked up, and Chow might be in trouble here actually. Tuxedo getting more and more damage. Chow, I'm not sure if he's going to live. No, he doesn't. Q3 takes him down, but in comes Fishy along with the body, but the Fate Seal goes out, and Tuxedo, I don't think he's going to be able to live, or maybe he can. Maybe he can do something here, as no, Fishy just going to take him down with a simple auto attack, but making it look very scary and very close.
Yeah, and that's with the ultimate burn from both of them. Tuxedo was just trying to get away, ended up connecting onto the Hecarim there. Fishy seems to be having an advantage at this point in the game, but the 3 kills onto the Yone is a lot of gold.
Oh, and Game Case does get stunned. He doesn't have Flash, though, and I think he's just going to be going down here. I mean, he burns the Primordial Burst, but it doesn't really do anything as Giraffe just takes him down.
The fadeaway fucking E from the Victor. That's style points for sure.
That is style points for sure, and I think we're starting to see why Giraffe is actually not allowed on this champion. It just doesn't even look fair. Pari getting here. It looks like he might be looking for something. And Fishy, however, able to get both to the grubs. Pari getting one of them. And it looks like there's a all-out fight in here as Nevada just blows up for Rennick, but the spray and pray is popped by Evan, and it looks like he might just be looking for Nevada. Yes, he finds her. As what looked like a really good response from SKT in the bot lane actually just doesn't turn out that well. I mean, they do get the support kill, but they aren't able to do anything to the Twitch. Because, you know, fighting them under the turret, and Tuxedo looking for maybe something else. No, it just looks like he's just going to get snapped back.
I think Chao's now at the point where he can just kind of neutralize. He should be able to always live and then just get back to lane with ultimate. He's probably going to try and stay in lane until the ultimate's back up. All he really needs to do is survive the E from Tuxedo, because it should give him enough movement speed to stick to the Scion, but after that he should just be able to walk out like we just saw there. But Scion's just going to need to start building up a lot of health to stop the Oni from just cutting him down. But if he does keep getting towered up, I think it could be really bad for Rift Sharks.
I think you are just going to have to put all your eggs in the Yone basket at this point for the side of SKT. I mean, mid and bot have just gone completely opposite of how you really wanted them to go. Like, if they went relatively even, it would be perfect. Even if they were a bit behind, it'd be fine. But I mean, they do have 5 kills between Evan and Giraffe, which really don't want to have happen. And Giraffe also win a sizable CS lead as well to boot. Not sure if he's okay. He does have Flash, but he burns it early, and that's just going to be a kill for Giraffe with the Chaos Storm. And Chao ulting through with the Fate Seal coming through with Tuxedo. It's going to be another kill for the Yone, as it looks like more and more they might be trying to fight. Maybe they can do something here. And Ray throws out the Q, but in comes the Rakan with the dance. As Apari, maybe finding the victor here. Giraffe already solo HP, but maybe they can get this over to Tuxedo. No, but Fishy comes in, slays Apari. Tuxedo flashes forward, but the Q, it's not enough with the victor shield. He lives on almost no HP, and Tuxedo might be in trouble himself. No Fate Shield, no Flash, and he's getting horsed around on as the ultimate lands to the bot side, as it looks like Nevada's looking for some kills. Ray's dashing forward and going in. It looks like they are going to get a trade of kills on the bot side. Both supports trading their lives. As in comes Giraffe, he just teleports on the Aphelios. Let's kill him as well. As it looks like Nevada, not the right guns you want to see for this fight. And Giraffe just going to be taking up that kill as well.
Yeah, and the plays coming out from Ray looks so good, and Nevada's honestly had really good aim with the ultimates, basically connecting exactly when and where you want to every time, but the Twitch is just consistently able to trade back, has 4 kills, 4-0, and that TP from Giraffe was just unfortunately completely negated any advantage they got. I feel like Evan's having a great game so far, and Frantic's doing a really good job to set him up.
Yeah, I think that Rift Sharks, everything so far in this early game, on paper, it's exactly how you drew it up. The Scion, dying to the Yone, it's kind of it's feel like it's kind of like an inevitability. And even though he has died of it, he still is relatively not too far behind in CS. However, the rest of your map is just winning so hard. It's just everything you could have really hoped for with this draft. As he kind of denies some vision denial, as he himself is just gonna get himself out of there. But man, Game Case just not his day, as it looks like Chaos Storm's burned, and it looks like the victor Chaos Storm might kill Game Case. No, it doesn't. But man,
Flash actually used from Giraffe though, which is I think a big deal, especially with the Vi up. Looks like they're gonna try to fight over this next dragon. Looks like they will. But Zygarde forced off the map, but Victor no Flash is almost just as big of a deal.
Tuxedo trading a bit in the top side. And Giraffe roaming up, maybe looking for something. Meanwhile, an opposite play, separate play happening on the bot side. But it looks like Unstoppable Force is going to get burned in, but the Yone burns the Q3 as it looks like the T are trying to live for as long as he can. Fate Seal on the 2 actually, but it's not going to be enough as he's just going to get taken out by Chow. But in comes the flank from Evan and the flank from Fishy as it looks like Nevada's killed immediately. Evan unstoppable in the game so far.
Yeah, Frentic played that perfectly, able to get them both caught in the knock-up. Just perfect range for the spray and pray from Evan there.
It looks like Fishy just got put in the jail, not really able to steal away that Drake. But Akari might be looking for a fight here, and I'd say maybe you do just have to fight it as Won'tbreaker gets burned, but I'm not sure if there's anything that they can really do here. As it looks like Game Case is just getting completely chewed up by this Hecarim, and Evan is still here on the flank. It looks like that Game Case is able to get a kill onto Frentic, but man, this game is just not going the way of... This game is just not going the way of SKT. I mean, they have 2 Drakes, but it's trying to just look a bit more difficult as pressure coming out here with Giraffe. Nevada burns the ult to heal. It does hit, but Giraffe takes her down.
Yeah, and I honestly, like, Ray did such a good job there. He played completely out of vision that entire fight on the Dragon, and honestly might be able to find another play here if he can handle the Hex Flash fast enough.
He can find another play, but it doesn't look like it. Giraffe playing very aggressively, almost gets snared by the Vigar cage, but avoids it.
Here's another one of those times where Chow just needs to walk away and hope he can live long enough. Has the flash available, but not the ultimate. Really good interrupt.
I don't think he's going to live. His shield is gone, and so is his life. And Fishy maybe looking for something here. I don't think he should, as this Yone, the Blade of the Rune King, really powerful in the side lane.
Yeah, the Yone definitely has the lead that we were looking between the 2 of them.
Get burned, and it looks like that they're going to be trying to take down Ray. Yeah, they take down Ray as Nevada trying to trade something back, but not able to connect with the Q. But I'm not sure if it really would have done anything as... Man.
Yeah, I think Yone has the lead that we were looking for at the beginning of the game, but I think when we were having that conversation, we did not factor in a 9-0 Twitch, and certainly not Giraffe doing as well as he is here. So I think the game's a little bit tougher on the Yone, but if he's still able to line up both the Victor and the Twitch in a single play, I think maybe he could have a fight that can turn around the game. It's just going to be a lot harder than it could be.
As it looks like that Fishy is spotted out by both the jungle and support on the side of SKT. It looks like, yeah, they're just going to send the go buttons, but Fishy just going to get out of there. The ultimate. And Chaos Storm is burned, but not quite landing onto Akari.
Cancel Akari's Q.
Oh, but the Poppy all burned. As in case, maybe looking for something heavily chunked already, though. I'm not sure if there's anything really to do here. I mean, they're not really fighting over anything. It's just one of those random things where you find each other in the river. This Rift Hail is up. And if Rift Sharks is going to play for it. It looks like, yeah, they are sending Frentic up the mid lane. So, assuming that Fishy on this base should walk out to the Rift Hail and try to take it. As I think Giraffe is not really positioned for anything.
The farm deficit's actually about equal in top and mid. So I think if you consider it as Tug doing as good of a job as Giraffe is, it's a fair way to look at it. And I think Tuxedo's actually going to get the first tower here.
He does get the first tower there, and he does send the Fate Seal on to Chow, as we do have fights breaking out. But the Unstoppable, of course, is going to get Chow away from that. And it looks like that they are going to get out of that skirmish near mid lane.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Looks like a 1v1 in the spot side here, but the spray and pray, just 4 bolts, and Nevada is gone. Evan getting that solo kill. 80 to 80.
And he's guaranteed crits once he presses the R button. It makes it very easy to guarantee that he's going to get that kill every single time. Building towards the IE next. Yone could prove trouble for him, though.
Tuxedo doesn't have the flash, but I think that Evan is just going to walk himself out of here and try to get to a safer place to play. As Tuxedo doing a really good job. I like how he actually does, like, you know, just play bot side as his job is just to go for the turrets, but he does actually find Evan on the recall. Really good play from Tuxedo, getting the shutdown onto the Twitch. That's huge. That's a 1K shutdown, and it looks like he might even look for Giraffe here. Tuxedo playing this like a monster, takes down Giraffe as well. What? 2K gold onto the Yone. Chow TPing in. Not really going to be able to find anything as Ray does pin him against the wall, but Fishy is looking for more, but no, it looks like they're not going to find it. Tuxedo taking down both the carries, getting both their shutdowns, getting almost 2K gold. Oh my goodness.
And he's able to do that without even using the ultimate. He did not have it available in that fight. I was worried about him lining it up onto both of them, but he does not even need it to get both. They were there at the same time. I think he does get burned down from the damage, but really good play to find the desync on them. Victor tried to TP in to help, but he just took too long, and I think that is going to secure them soul point.
It is going to secure them soul point, and I think one of the really big things. Oh, it looks like they're actually going to be looking for Game Case here. Game Case Howard just going to be flashing away, throwing down the cage, but I'm not sure if it's going to really do anything. Fishy just decides, why not? I'll just ult over the wall. Let's kill this Veigar, and they do take him down. Fishy is on a rampage.
And Veigar actually was worth gold there. I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to actually benefit much from that kill. But he's worth like 342. Tuxedo looking for this next tower. He's got to have so much gold in his pocket. I think he has a full item on base here. Should be the IE of his own.
Looks like the Fate Seal just sending on the Giraffe. However, Giraffe does send the W down instantly, and Tuxedo might have bit off a bit more than he can chew. Maybe he can get another Q3. He actually gets the Q3. Great flash from Giraffe to get the solo kill in the bot side. Tuxedo overplaying his hand, making a misstep, and taking down getting taken down by Giraffe.
Yeah, that's another play where no ultimate was needed to find a kill. Giraffe didn't have to use his there. Had to use his flash, and Tuxedo did not have his up. Kind of alternating on these plays. Fishy could be in a rough spot here, though. Poppy looking to collapse.
Yeah. Like, you know, some typing in chat, and Tuxedo actually, I mean, they are like talking about, but pointing out, like, Tuxedo actually did a really good job of being able to get that like Q3 stack, which does actually end up getting the flash out of the Victor. So even though he does get taken down, it is really nice that he does get the summoner out. And
important to note that no shutdown was on the Yone, so the profit from Giraffe was not quite as much as Tug got on his earlier play.
Yeah, not as much. And a really, I think, big part of this game actually for SKT that is making it somewhat playable. As they are going to actually be sending it in top side here, and GameCase does throw down the cage, but it doesn't actually connect on to the Scion, so he's just going to be going down. Great play coming out from Chow actually to get that kill. And it looks like
getting the info that the bot lane's rotating up here, and he has the wraparound engage. Hecarim's going to be in a bit of a rough spot after connecting to the turret, but I think they should get but they are able to kill it.
Really nice play from Ray, actually trying to get him down, but that Chaos Storm did so much damage. Great charm coming out from the side of Frentic. Ray not able to get out his ultimate, and Evan's going to pick up those kills. Tuxedo is here, and he's looking for the thing. He actually just find him with the Ignite, maybe able to pick up the side. Frentic, he does. It's a Yone, it's a 1v3 situation. A little shield will pop, and the barrier just not enough, as he's going to be going down. Ace for the side of Rift Sharks, as this wall is
barrier. That shield is just all shield bow. I think that was ludicrous.
The shield bow plus the Yone W was actually absurd. That was an insane shield. Oh my goodness, that looks very fair, I guess was what you could say.
Yeah, it looks like Frentic was trying to time the W on his body, but just didn't have the cooldown up and just gives him another kill, which is a bit unfortunate, but I don't think realistically it's going to matter too much.
Yeah, I don't think it should.
It looks like he's building towards either the GA or the Death Stance.
Yeah. And I think what you talked about, like, you know, Frentic spotting them up on that rotation to like the top side, I think was actually key for Rift Sharks just sweeping them. There wasn't like I mean, they just like got spotted instantly, and like Rift Sharks, like they see like, you know, like they see the like 3 members of the side of SKT like on the rotation, and it's just like they know that like they don't really need to be scared because they have like the vision, and like they have like Frentic on that flank able to go in.
Giraffe face checking the Yone there. Could be in a bit of trouble. Has the Hecarim back him up.
Doesn't have the Hecarim back him up. I think Tuxedo might be in trouble here. Definitely doesn't have the Fate Seal. Does hit the Q3 though, but Giraffe does have the Zonius, as he's not really able to do anything about it. And Evan actually just decides that he's just going to kill 2 people in mid lane and force a party to retreat. So there you have it. I mean, the Twitch is really powerful.
And that's how you get a dragon? Maybe. Except they're all going to respawn for it, so I'm not sure if Ripshark is actually going to get much off of this. A lot of gold, though.
A lot of gold, and I mean, SKT having Evan actually a bit far up. I'm not sure if he really needed to be that far. Actually, great Q from Apari, as it looks like that Ray going in, and yes, he gets it with the ranged auto attack from the Poppy, as it looks like that he might be able to get out himself, maybe. But notably, the Twitch is down for the next 40 seconds, and before the Drake spawns, Ray actually getting himself away. And I think at this point for SKT, you need to sprint to this Drake and try to get it. I think getting the soul is the only way back in the game.
That's how you lose a drag. You have Twitch solo mid trying to take a turret and just gets completely collapsed on by the Vi. And I think any advantage they had going into this dragon is just completely wasted. So this is SKT's soul to get for sure.
And if you are a Ripshark fan, you'd be very nervous about just randomly dying on mid there for no reason. I mean, they are. I think they can play this 45, but it does have to be pretty clean. As it looks like that Apari just starting the Drake on spawn. Game case putting down the cage. And Ray has a nice flank as the Unstoppable Force is used, but the Fate Sealed is zoning it as Frederick is taken down immediately. Fishy trying to do all he can, and it looks like can the Hecarim live? They need to live. He needs to try to get this Drake. Apari trying to get it, but Fishy gets the Drake. The Chaos Storm is burning everyone down. Tuxedo able to get out with the Q3. Maybe he goes down as well. The Twitch is chasing, and Twitch is looking, but Nevada not really able to find an angle in this fight yet, as it looks so difficult to play, and it is, as Game Face and Nevada trying to kite it away and kite out, but they're just not strong enough. This Scion is just an immortal god, as Evan takes down Game Case, and it looks like that Ray and Tuxedo might be looking for something. Maybe Giraffe overstays his welcome, but no, it looks like they are just going to channel their bases.
Yeah, Giraffe was completely untouched in that fight, didn't have to flash, which is super important. All he had to do was pop the Zonias, and he had the team to peel for them. They were able to just immediately get onto Frantic, but he stalled long enough for the Yone snapback to come through, and I think this should just be a Baron Nashor secured for Ripsharks here.
Should just be a Baron Nashor.
Tuxedo and Ray did a really good job of hiding on Bush and living there, and I think Giraffe had walked the wrong way. They have enough to just CC chain him and get the kill, but Yone wasn't actually able to stack, so it could have been close, and I think Giraffe might have been able to live with the flash, but the fact that he's able to keep that is very crucial. And really good smite from Fishy. I thought Apari was going to have that.
I thought Apari was going to have it. I think it's really, I mean, goes as well as you could have it go when you're like, you don't even have your ADC at the fight initially for the side of Ripsharks. Like
neither did SKT actually. Aphelios was super late to that fight as well. I think Aphelios got there slightly before Twitch did, but it was a super narrow window.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I think now that you mentioned Twitch does get to the fight, but quite late. I mean, not Twitch, I mean Aphelios, sorry. Aphelios to get to that fight quite late, as not what you really want to see. And Tuxedo is made a Fate Sealed on Chow, but Chow is not who he used to be with that random wounds, actually. And he's actually just going to be able to send it right back onto Tuxedo. Tuxedo already burned the Fate Sealed, so Draft really doesn't have anything to fear. And there's the 3-4 members of Ripsharks all around Tuxedo. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to do anything at all. He's just CC'd up, and it looks like that they are going to chase with the strongest member dead. But ooh, Giraffe taking a huge chunk of damage from the side of Game Case. And
Yeah,
Evan,
he calculated
he's
that.
hiding.
He had Zonias available. He chose not
He's
to do it.
looking, and he's gonna find them. But Evan is just going crazy. You don't need to. You can just wait for a second, as it looks like he gets taken down. But the poison just tick and burn onto Apari as the Chaos Storm is burning down. Nevada at the same time. Ray having to flash away. Maybe he gets away. It doesn't look like he will. As Fishy looking for the chase, and it looks like he's just gonna find the Vigor instead. This Vigor doesn't have primordial burst, but Ray trying to keep his mid laner alive. He does, but he sacrifices himself in the process of it. 4 kills over to Ripsharks with only losing Evan on the back end of it. And I think that will just be the game. I was completely psychotic from Evan. I wouldn't expect him just to come out of his invisibility there, but he just decided to.
Yeah, and honestly, I thought it was a pretty interesting move for Tuxedo to just flash immediately on that earlier play. He's not going to have it this play, and I think he could get a lot more done if he waited for a more impactful team fight. And I think he was just hoping that the picks he could get with it would be enough. But he should have it back up for the next Nash, but he's not going to have it up for the Cloud Drake, which Ripsharks are going to want to continue stacking here.
They're going to want to continue stacking these Cloud Drakes. Or, well, hopefully, like, maybe like maybe in a crazy world, SKT does get the soul, but I don't think Rift Sharks are gonna even like give him the chance. And I
That's a 24 stack Magi on Giraffe right now.
yeah.
Evan building towards Zonia's actually instead of Guardian Angel, which I think makes a lot of sense.
Oh, this game is so sad if you're a party.
Like on the last play, that was insane. Certain death, but he didn't set up well for the rest of the team.
Even though like yes, he did like just decide to pop out invisibility in the middle of them, which was kind of hilarious. He did actually end up like actually allowing his team to chase and actually get like the other kills because they had to stop and kill Evan. Basically, was like the big thing. So in a way,
Evan untouched. He just killed everybody.
In a way, it's either like you killed the Twitch or you died everyone else. So I mean, it is kind of working Rift Sharks very good. Azosh. I'm not sure if that is part of the game, but it is that you can't hear. Oh, the Victor Chaos Storm actually being burned. And it looks like that Ray is just going to look for Draft and try to send it on him. He's just going to get away with that extra move speed that he does have. Happening, yeah, it looks like this next Drake's just going to go over to the side of it. I mean, at this point in the game, Baron's going to be spawning in 2 minutes. I'm not even sure if you really need Baron to end even as Rift Sharks. I think you're so far ahead that you can probably just force the end. But no, it looks like that they are just going to position for it. Just try to like end this game out quite cleanly. Don't want any mishaps, but I'm trying to end the game, as in previous series.
Yeah, I think something Rift Sharks has been really good at this entire season is once we have a lead, I think we're very good at closing out games. Pretty consistent. The problem is, if we get it behind, I think things get a little wild. So I do trust this team to be able to close this out.
Yeah, it looks like Adam just going to be looking for a pick, and he gets the easy pick. There it is. Nevada taken down. And I mean, we talked about how hard this game is going to be for the Affiliates, but it looks like Tuxedo might be looking on to Fishy here. Fate Sealed going out. He doesn't hit the Q3, but the Ignite should be enough. Ticks Fishy down, and yes, Tuxedo getting that kill. So it looks like it's going to be returned to a 44 as the Sharks going to be taking down that 3rd tower, but it looks like they're going to be backing off without the support of their jungler. And looks like that, however, looks like that there is going to be a Baron fight. I mean, the bot lane inhibitor is down to the side of SKT, but I'm not sure if that's going to really dissuade them from just being into position for this Baron. Ray already trying to get rid of some of the vision here.
Yeah, I'm almost questioning if the Twitch ult was like even worth it to kill the Aphelios. Because he didn't have it in that fight, and I think if he was able to use it in free hit onto like 3 people, I think he would have gotten a lot more value on it. So I wonder if they're able to kind of bait out the Twitch ult early, if that could benefit them in these later fights. And Twitch is looking to build towards a BT at this point. Going for the maximum survivability after the 4 crit items are built.
I'm a pretty big fan. I mean, I already like I think the Hourglass is nice. And the only real way, like,
I love it.
yeah, it's because like even though if you get knocked, actually maybe GA actually wouldn't be that bad, but I think the zone use is fine. I mean, you are gonna get value out of it. Like Twitch does have like decent AP scaling for certain things, so you can get value out of that AP. And the armor is also just really good for obvious reasons of the Yone and the Vi. It looks like that they are gonna start looking for this Baron here.
Yeah, they have Yone marked on mid.
Somewhere like this is a really realistic contest here from the side of SKT, but I think that you're gonna have to try to find one as they are just hitting. Yeah, I don't think that there is any movement at all. As yeah, it looks like it is just gonna be going down. As they do get the Baron, but they might look for a fight here. Party engage on to Chow. I think a Party might be in a bit of trouble here. No, Chow doesn't charge it up enough to knock him up. As it looks like he just gives himself the safety, but now I think it's just a really easy siege for the side of Rift Sharks, and a Party getting caught out on the base on vision from Evan with a spray and pray, and Game Case getting some good damage out, but I'm not sure if it's going to really matter as the Victor is going to continue to chase, going to flash it with all Chaos Storm, and it's Zonia's for extra style points. He gets them SS plus on the style points for Giraffe there, taking down Game Case.
Red team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
I mean, yeah, I think looks like that's this game. I'm not sure if like SKT can really find a fight here. They are just, I think it is just going to be a quick group and end. Tuxedo, this last shining ray of hope, and the fate shield goes in, but it's onto a GA Hecarim. Fishy just going in the death stance, and he's just, I guess he's just immortal as he's just not going down. He finally does, but Tuxedo is CC'd up and taken down. Ray going down as well, as it looks like that Frenetic going in with the ultimate, putting the exhaust down onto the Aphelios, as it looks like Evan going dangerously close, and maybe he can take it down. Primordial Burst, Zonia's it! Very well done from Evan, as spray and pray does not really matter, because actually it looks like that Increase does time it, but I'm not sure if this game is going to last much longer, as it looks like that Rift Sharks has decided that it's time for this game to get closed out, and yep, that is going to be the end of the game, as Rift Sharks is going to be taking a 1-0 in this series so far. I mean, yeah, just really, really nice game coming from the side of Rift Sharks. I mean, everything kind of just went like exactly like how like you just wanted it to go for Rift Sharks. There wasn't like any major mistakes. No one like, I guess, well, no one really made any like huge errors. The Scion inside was able to like get a lead, or not get a lead, but like was able to like not fall that far behind, actually able to still like get like good items, keep himself tanky, gear himself up for the team fights, and be a lot useful like in those later team fights, along with the side of his rest of his team just getting really powerful. The early map was just being won instantly from the side of Rift Sharks. I think the only really scary moment in that game for Rift Sharks, realistically, was the soul. What would have been the soul for SKT. Like winning that fight was actually just a key part, and ended up just like elevating them to that like a win, because I think at that point in the game like that there was like no way that they're ever gonna like let SKT contest anything in the game anymore, and it went exactly like how it was supposed to happen. So yeah, really nice game coming from the side of Rift Sharks. Okay, and hopefully we will be getting. It looks like that. We aren't gonna be getting into draft yet, but should be exciting to see how it does go. As I do think if you are the side of Rift Sharks, you are going to be very happy with this win. I mean, Giraffe got on one of his really comfortable champions, and he was like able to just completely dominate on it. I mean, we clearly see like why you ban like this champion. It looks he looks completely he looks completely so comfortable, able to get so much pressure like this early lane versus Gamecase, as Gamecase not really able to do anything at all, to be honest, in this early lane. I think that the Veigar like lane versus Victor went kind of exactly how like we kind of thought it was gonna go, and today, like, you know, to be brutally honest, a bit worse. Gamecase died multiple times to Giraffe solo. I mean, the Scion Yone matchup went like how we expected, but I think that was like more so how it's like supposed to like kind of like go, like not to like a worse extent, but still kind of went unfavorably for the Scion, but Chow able to stay in it, like doing a really good job. I mean, the Veigar was also like, you know, like was scaling. I mean, we saw some like good damage coming out from Gamecase in those fights, but I think that against like a champion like Victor, you're gonna need something that's gonna be able to match that early laning pressure and able to like to keep like within like relative like even farm, as well as like, you know, trying to keep a relative. It looks like that we actually are gonna be getting into draft maybe. And yes, we are going to be getting a draft. Looks like the Alistair is going to be banned from the side of Rift Sharks. And so it looks like that they are actually going to be, interestingly enough, going after that playmaking from the side of Ray. As, we did see like the Alistair ban earlier on in the game. And so it looks like that, or the Alistair ban last game. So it looks like that they are just going to keep the same ban. Syndra ban going to be like maintained, as it looks like that the Apari's Viego not going to be led onto the Rift. And it looks like relatively the same bans. Aatrox, Rift Sharks, just, we have this game plan. We're going to ban these champs every single time. We're going to keep them out of the game. You guys couldn't like really get them. And the draft can be banned again. And man, I'm not a fan because there's the Orianna walk. And at this point in the game, it looks like that they are going to be going for. They might opt in to Nocturne Orianna, but it looks like the SKT is going to deny it. But I'm not sure if you really did need to deny it as much as you could have just picked something that could like play well against the dive. But it looks like that they're not going to opt into it. They're just saying, no, we don't even want to play against it at all. We don't have like a way. We probably don't have a way of dealing with it. So it looks like they are just going to take the Jhin from the side of SKT, and Jhin Nocturne. So not as much damage as you'd like to see in the early picks from the side of SKT. But they should be able to find a couple things later on this draft, as looks like Rift Sharks is going to be looking for, yes, they do. Okay, so it looks like that Rift Sharks is going to be finding the Smolder, as I think that they should probably just want to give Evan something pretty safe to scale on. Even against like Nocturne, it's actually a relatively safe champion. You can just, if Nocturne like goes on to you, you can always just eat away. The fear. It looks like they're gonna pick some more peel for the Smolder, and this is like the form of that Braum, more anti-dive, and that's also gonna prevent Ray from picking any sort of engaged champion to try to like squeeze like the side of Rift Strikes even more with that Nocturne pick. As I am curious to see like what they try to go for in this draft, as. I think it's kind of really hard. I think you should probably pick. I think Ray has a big enough champion pool. Yeah, you probably should just pick the mid lane, Lissandra. And man, Game Case is I'm just be very honest. Game Case is taking really, really difficult like matchups and lanes against the side of Giraffe, who's really known for laning very well. I'm not a fan at all. I think that you need to like be picking champions that are much more. I think you need to be picking champions that are much more stronger in the early portions of the laning phase. And Restrict just keeping the same bans, but it looks like they are going to be denying some of Chow's champions now, trying to like take away some of those very blindable top laners. And I think that they're doing that because they Fishy probably is looking for something to round out the draft, but they might just save. They might be able to save some of the other blindable champions, and I think that it's probably just gonna. Mundo Man. I think they're just gonna target Tuxedo again in the side of the draft, as more and more. I think that this game could look to be a bit more difficult, but nothing really happening yet. As looks like that they are thinking about it. I think that at this point in the draft, Brand. That's quite the pick. It's probably, you probably, I don't see a realistic role where Brand is laning mid. I think that this is going to be a Brand support. I think it is pretty good into Braum, because you kind of, as like Brand support kind of just like negates what Braum wants to do, which is stay close to his carries. So to stay close to the Orianna or the Smolder. So it's actually a pretty good pick. And it looks like that they are actually going to go for a Kayn here for Fishy. So actually quite interesting to see how that works out. And they've kind of like pivoted. Rift Sharks has like pivoted from that first or early Orianna pick, where it's like, yes, we're gonna draft something that like can engage around the Orianna, into let's actually play like more this like drawn out, extended like counter engage like style like team comp. Meanwhile, SKT like staying true to like their own first pick, like the Nocturne. Like let's pick things that can like the Nocturne can either follow up on, or we can follow up on the Nocturne. Let's pick the Lissandra. Like we have the Jhin W as well. And it looks like Chow going for the Cho'Gath as his pick, which should be pretty interesting to see what Tuxedo has. I think that you probably do want to. I think that at this point you need to draft something with damage for Tuxedo. I think a carry champion is best. If he could play something like, I think Jace would be fine. there's a lot of champions he can play. There's a lot of champions that he could play here. I think gameplay actually gameplay probably would be best. It looks like no, they're just gonna opt into Pantheon, and so now SKT's draft looking a bit weird. But yes, it looks like that is a Pantheon, and I think it's Pantheon top. So I am very worried about how SKT is going to do damage this game, because even though like yes, like you do have the brand and you're gonna have like some like decent like damage against tanks in the form of of your brand, and also like the damage that is going to be able to come out from the Jhin and the Lissandra. It's more a lot of your comp is much more CC based. Like you have like a lot more crowd control, so you try to like just like crowd control like one person and then just like burst them down and like kill them and like get an advantage quickly, or keep like multiple members like chain CC'd and like not able to like do anything while like your team's like able to like play like relatively like freely. However, the problem is that I'm not sure if you're gonna have the damage, like even though if you crowd control like this Cho'Gath, I'm not sure, or like the CC the Cho'Gath or CC even like the Orianna or the Smolder, I'm not sure if like you are gonna be able to follow with kills unless you are like very far ahead. This is gonna be another game where it is quite difficult to play, but I do think that they might be able to pull it off, and it looks like that we might get into game shortly. I'm not quite sure, however, as. Just give me 1 second. Okay. As it looks like that SKT is going for a very, very ambitious draft here. I mean, in all fairness, I do see like the draft working if they are able to kill off these carries. And this Kayn, I'm not a huge fan of this Kayn pick. I mean, even like if you're red form Kayn, like you're not like completely immortal. Like you can be taken down like quite easily. There like Rift has very strong. Rift has very strong team fight champions, but this Kayn is this is a very, very difficult Kayn game. Like there's like Kayn, like out of like all the junglers, like just it's so hard to deal with like crowd control. Like when they have it, especially this heavy. I mean, and a lot of it's pointing. Like I mean, like Lissandra Pantheon, it's just point and click crowd control, and the brand's probably gonna be rivalized, so you're probably gonna be slowed, which is gonna be even more annoying for your champion. But it is gonna be interesting to see how this plays out exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be real, not my proudest draft of all time, but I agree with all the points you have made here. I think the Pantheon versus Cho'Gath is going to be kind of like the key matchup this game. I don't think Nocturne v Kayn specifically is like very punishing, but the Kayn into their team composition is going to be tough. But I mean, I trust Fishy to play it well. It's a really good Kayn. And this way, we don't have to hear about Apari telling us that we're egoing him. So,
I mean that's pretty nice. I was
he gives us so much shit about never banning Kayn, and then he never fucking picks it. So,
I mean that's a great point. This Cho'Gath pick is I think actually so good. I think it's actually a really, really good B5 pick. There's like not many ways for SKT to deal with it. Their only way they really realistically deal with this Cho'Gath pick is like not fall behind and like play a really good early game and get ahead early, which like it's possible. Like don't get me wrong, especially with like the early power of like that Nocturne and like Lissandra combo. But as the game goes on more and more, and like Rift Sharks actually starts to get items, and also like the champions like the Cho'Gath, the Smolder, and even like Braum like getting like like more like experience and getting more levels into his abilities is going to make this game really difficult for the side of SKT. I think it is.
I'm just really glad that we didn't decide to lock in the Shen. I was thinking about it for a second, and I was like, oh right, they have Nocturne. Let's not play with fire if we don't need to. I think Tuxedo being on a champion that has as much agency as Pantheon, especially if he's able to work really well with Apari, is going to be really devastating. They're able to have 2 global ultimates. It does put what Apari was saying on the podcast to the test, though. He was saying that they're a whole new team, their synergies at 100%. That said, they still have only actually played a few series together. I'm not sure how much this team's been practicing. Going through their match histories, they actually haven't been doing a lot of recorded games, so it's possible that they've been playing some scrims against other teams for practice, but otherwise it's really down to just the 2 series that these teams have played together, and I think coordinating global ultimates can be a bit tricky. So if they're not 100% down on that, I think that could really be obvious here. But with Nocturne turning out the lights, it does make it harder to react to, so we'll have to see how they play it out.
Yeah, I was concerned that you were just calling a part a liar there, which you're just saying like, yeah, your team's not together. You guys haven't played any games, but they probably have like played like a couple games like
We'll see.
off camera. But
I mean, it's easy to talk shit off a win. I mean, I've been in the same position. You definitely look foolish if you talk shit off a loss, which is why I talked 0 shit on the podcast. PT, very good team. They played quite well, and they also played Nocturne and Pantheon against us. Not in the same game though, so this is a new one. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm very willing to believe that he's correct. This is a test of it. He's putting his words on the screen in front of us right now, so we'll get to see how that pans out, which is always exciting.
It is always exciting. I'm hoping that we could see a couple of Grand Starfalls into the Fountain Nexus. I think that'd be pretty fun with Fountain Turret. That'd be pretty fun to see.
Who did that?
That was Blind. Yeah, Blind Spiral.
Yeah. That was so funny.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Shout out to Blind Spiral. That was awesome. I know, no flame. That was just awesome.
Spiral's the goat.
Yeah, that was goated. You have to like be just like so unpredicting that like you can't even predict yourself.
Right. Yeah.
That's what we'll chalk it up.
He just felt bad that we didn't have that many kills that game, and he wanted to give us another one. I understand.
I mean, in all seriousness, I think this Cho'Gath is such a good. I can't like harp enough how good of a pick. This is such a good pick into like SKT.
Yeah, draft. I mean, if he's able to play into top as well as he did last game, I think it knocks it down a few pegs. But honestly, Chow was able to keep up and farm really well, so if he's able to do that again, I think it puts him in a solid position. But the hardest thing about these drafts is that SKT is able to just stick R5 for Tuxedo every game, and I think that gives him such a huge advantage. I think even if Rift does end up losing this game, it puts us in the driver's seat next game with presumably a red side selection from us, which allows us to have the counter pick, and I think that takes a lot of power out of Tuxedo. But Tug is just slamming the Ignite again. Chow opting for the teleport, so I think we're probably going to see a lane matchup that's pretty similar, and Giraffe just going for the cleanse. Smart move into the Lissandra, and with all the other champions on the other team that have CC, he needs to watch out for. And I think this game's going to be very execution heavy on the Pantheon, on the Kayn, on the Nocturne, all of these melee champions who are going to have to go into the absolute firing squad that is the Orianna Smolder brand in this game.
Yeah, I think. Oh, it looks like that Fishy's actually going to find a party here. Actually, just really good for Fishy. Already getting those souls that you really want to get. Or
it gives him like 0 progress this early in the game. It's okay.
But hey, you take what you can get wherever you can get it.
Right. It eliminates those situations where you have like a rounding error amount of orbs missing.
Yeah.
It's giving him stacks towards red though, and I guess the presumption would be that he's likely going to go blue Kayn this game, but hard to know for sure. With Dark Harvest though, it's definitely looking blue.
Definitely looking blue. I think if this Pantheon can get ahead though, I think that actually can become like a huge issue. A very fed Pantheon can make the game like completely unplayable if you are like generally like an Orianna, for instance, that happens to be in the game.
Yeah, and Nocturne can just follow up immediately. It is a devastating combo. The carries of Bridgearks are going to need to play super intelligently.
Which I actually have no doubt they will do. And it looks like that Tuxedo getting that early pressure with the PTA, walking forward. Chow actually missing the rupture. And it looks like Tuxedo gained a really nice trade in the top side.
Yeah, the wave state that really caught him last game is not going to happen again this time, though. So I think that's a little bit of a better situation for Chow. He's not going to be in a position to just die on second wave again, or third wave. I'm hoping I didn't just cast a curse in there. Kayn and Nocturne actually scrapping it out in the jungle right now.
Yeah, Apari actually found on this invade, and Fishy is level 3. And
Yeah, he has smite, which
Pari,
is
it looks like he
doesn't.
actually just gonna be followed here. Like Giraffe is moving, and it looks like they're gonna find a Pari. Pari's gonna have to flash. The game is just going on Cleanse Oriana. The ignite goes down on Giraffe, but it's not enough. He gets taken down. What was Game Case thinking? There's just you see the Kane, you see the Oriana. Why would you go in? You're jungler's level 2. You cannot fight that ever. Oh,
Maybe he just hadn't realized the cleanse was up. I think maybe that could matter, but this is so good for Fishy. He has so many orbs, and Apari wasting so much time this game. I don't know, you'd think he'd know Kane pathing and know that he's just going to get discovered right there, but actually really smart from Kane to skip the wolves and go straight to the blue
both
puck.
the Q and the W missing from the Smolder and Braum respectively. As matter is going to get safety, but this Brand pick actually in lane is looking pretty decent. I mean, as like a support counter, seems decent. As Tuxedo looking for something here on the top side, maybe he doesn't have the Mortal Will stacks to take down Chao, and Chao's going to be able to get away with safety.
Yeah, and Chao surviving through the first ignite this time is going to be really
Evan
helpful.
left all alone. Maybe he can look for something here for Evan. Really good movement, and maybe he can look for something here onto Ray. No, it looks like he doesn't, as some trading coming in here from the side of Case, but yeah, should be able to reestablish that control he has in the lane. As Chao walking forward, trying to get farm, and see, going for a stun. The Rupture might connect. Actually, no flash on Tuxedo. The Mortar Will is stacked up, but Chao's just going to get the solo kill in a counter matchup. Ah, no. SKT, everything that could go wrong will go wrong, and it has gone wrong. There's nothing worse ever than like drafting like something like a comp that's just strong. That's supposed to be strong early. You're supposed to just have like those winning side lanes, and man, just a complete error from the side of Tuxedo, just not respecting like the Cho'Gath. Like at the very least, you have to save your E for the for the move speed, because if he hits the Rupture right on your forehead, it might just hit you, and it did. And Chao doing a really great job of just landing the Rupture, walking forward, and just taking down Tuxedo. Both more than you said, as the W does miss from the side of Nevada and the bot side.
Yeah, I mean, at this point of SKT, you just have to be happy that Evan didn't find the solo kill onto Ray.
Ooh, and Giraffe flashing forward! Clockwork wind up Q and takes him down, but the turret will also take down Giraffe, so it's going to be a trade of kills in mid lane, with Game Case intelligently having that Dark Seal, so he's actually going to get some stacks at the end of that. Tuxedo playing a very dangerous game, as in comes Fishy passing through the walls. Tuxedo doesn't have enough damage, he actually just gets soloed by Chao. Fishy's not even required. The grasp auto plus the E from Chao takes down Tuxedo, and Tuxedo is... Oh my god, this isn't supposed to happen in this matchup. You're supposed to crush it as Pantheon, and you're not supposed to get crushed. Oh, Chao, really well done.
All this before Apari hit 6, and Apari is not even close to
Shockwave in the mid lane, and looks like that's just going to be ulti from Giraffe being built now, as they're continuing the trade, but Giraffe is getting the better end of this trade, as Fishy is here, but Lissandra does have ulti, is going to burn it to heal up and get herself to safety, as yes, Game Case, he will live. Nicely done for him.
Yeah, this is just a control mage masterclass from Giraffe so far this series. I mean, yes, he dies under turret, but he's able to deny the wave as well, and you just see how strong he is on Oriana and Victor. Really good denial of the Nocturne by SKT. They read our draft correctly, but then you end up in a situation where you have Nocturne and you don't have the Ori to go with it, and you still have Giraffe on a super comfort pick. And I think this is another matchup where Game Case just kind of countered itself. This should just be first dragon uncontested, though. It's very hard for a game to contest early drags. So kind of the same position that we saw SKT in the last game, where they are behind, but they're able to get objective stacking in their favor.
But I do think the really key point of interest is the fact that this Pantheon is just behind. Tuxedo is just behind, and he does have the Mortal stack here, so he might be able to get a favorable trade. Rupture doesn't connect, and Chao might be biting off a bit more than he can chew. Ignite is burned. I think that Tuxedo should be able to follow, but Giraffe is running for the top side, as we do have a fight in bot side, as the Nocturne goes in, tries to find Evan, and the Brand W barely misses the barrier, keeping Evan alive, but no, the Q connects and takes him down. Shockwave burn to the top side. Tuxedo not long for this world, as it looks like that kill's being handed over to Giraffe. He does get it, but Brand's going to be burning down Fishy on the end. The current call comes out, open it up, as Phrenic also going to get taken down, flashes away, but he eased the last 4 shot, but Ray picking himself up a triple kill on the bot side with this Brand.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ray and Tuxedo are both kind of big additions to this team and one to look out for, and I don't think you would expect the game to get carried through Braum support, or through Brand support, but it definitely could be in this situation. Fishy definitely benefiting a lot from that. He was able to get a lot of orbs, and it looks like he's actually going to stumble upon a Pari. I think the reset's going to go off in time, but I don't think that was a terrible play, but the Smolder is just going to take a lot longer to come online than the Jhin Brand is, and Brand just has so much power in the early game and was able to find all 3 there. Ray just playing this super well.
Playing it super well, and critical roam up there from Giraffe. Actually, interestingly enough, Chow actually didn't get a single tick of damage on the Tuxedo, so it actually was just a solo from Giraffe. As
Evan hitting level 6 right after that play is a big deal too. Jhin ultimate had so much to do there.
so that
Brand actually also didn't
skirmish up
have it.
here. The Rupture going to be thrown wide and not going to connect notably, as probably doesn't really have ultimate to burn, so Chow's going to be able to keep himself safe, but he does have his feast coming up, and it looks like that they are going to be going for these scrubs, as it looks like that Ray is roaming himself up, and they are going to be able to get the grub advantage, but Chow maybe going a bit too far and a bit too soon, but Tuxedo is a bit low, and the feast gets burned, but Tuxedo lives! He lives at the end of it, and Chow going to get taken down, but it's only 320 gold, it's not a full shutdown. As
yeah, really good timing by Tuxedo there. He knew that Chow was going to have to flash to get the ultimate down, and he just predicts the flash with the E, blocks the ultimate, and Chow just loses the ult, gets nothing from it, and is going to end up dying there.
yeah, critical point in this game for the side of SKTs. I think that once this Brand gets to Rylai's, this game could actually get a bit scary for the side of Rift Sharks. You know, that early power, like that early slow from the Rylai's. Not many people having, like, you know, like their tier 2 boot purchases complete so far yet. Could be a very devastating in the team fight if that Brand does able to get the Pyroclasm out. As it's not fun when your entire team does
honestly, if he just hits the empowered E, like,
yeah. or you know that, like, you know, the very simple, like, I'm just gonna press W on something, I'm gonna press E on it, and everyone's gonna get, you know, affected by the slow. I could also just be just as effective, or even more so. As Rupture coming up from Chow. It's like just
his ultimate probably going to come up in this fight if he's able to.
Mortar will, however, stack for the side Tuxedo, and he's going to fight mid lane as Giraffe investing that Shockwave in. Oh, Giraffe actually getting the solo kill, and a party is here, but Fishy is going to chase. The cleanse actually cleanses the fear perfectly, able to get away. I don't think Apari has another Q to follow. He misses the Q, not able to take down Giraffe, and that's going to be a 2v2 for the side of Rift Sharks. Actually, a solo kill originally, taking down the Lysandra from the side of Giraffe, and really well played from both the jungle and mid on the side of Rift Sharks.
And Fishy holds the ultimate for the next dragon, which is very critical, especially as he's able to
Ray, a dangerous amount of damage getting dealt to Rift Sharks as and Fishy's going in.
He's on vision.
Doesn't have flash, but also a bit, tiny bit too far. Maybe there's something on the top side. Can you find another Rupture?
I think something we didn't talk about too much in draft is I feel like the power of the Braum in this is very powerful. If he's able to block the Brand ultimate, that can be really tricky, and able to just knock out all these force shots, and especially with Lysandra, Nocturne, and Pantheon all just kind of wanting to get on top of you and be in line.
Tuxedo auto attack feast, and he's killed, slain again, a third solo kill for Chow. Oh, Chow's just like, I mean, Chow's just beasting it up in this matchup. It's like
you can't block with E when you're in your W. Like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Draft might be in big trouble here, but has the King to back him up.
Does have the King to back him up, and Game K is good off the point of view. Shockwave going to take him down, but Apari is walking forward. Fishy, very scared for his life, going to be able to burn his flash to get away to safety. And more souls getting onto this King. As Tuxedo's just going in, he just decides, I need a kill now, and I'm going to get my kill now. As he takes down Fishy, but Giraffe is to follow. However, he does have the blast kill. Maybe he can get to it. No, it doesn't look like Clockwork Wind-Up. Giraffe going to take down Tuxedo in the end. I mean, he does get the kill and some of that gold from that, like tiny shutdown, but I'm not quite sure if he really needed or wanted to do that, but I guess he's like, why not?
Here's on the dragon. Fishy actually could have had an opportunity to ult there. If he had pressed R in time, he would have been able to live, but just barely missing it. And that is a chain transform coming through.
Mapari doing a good job actually paying these early Drakes, and Frennick just falling into his own jungle. I'm not sure if I want to do that. Frennick actually going to get feared, and Evan is here, but I'm not sure if this is really the fight that they're going to look for. However, game case notably not having that frozen tomb, so nothing really going to come of that.
Yeah, that was a pretty bad play from Frennick, to be honest, but only losing his flash and the attack splash, he's not too upset about that.
He's
and
might
I can
caught
now
out
be
himself. He's probably just going to be able to get away with the blast gun. Yes, he does. And Fishy actually opting into the blue form king this game.
Yeah, I don't think it's super surprising with the Dark Harvest, and he has been playing super aggressively, but it could bite him in the later team fights if he's not playing it correctly. But, I mean, I would argue that Fishy might have the better game than Abari. Controversial statement.
As we are just going to burn down the Nocturne ult here. Looking for Chow, maybe. The Fear does connect. And Pantheon, with these stacks, might be able to get the kill. It looks like, yes, he should be able to with the Mortal Will. Hits the Q on to Chow, getting the kill over to Tuxedo. Oh,
and Nocturne Ultimate being used for that, it looks like, so that is pretty impactful.
Sure.
Game case is just dead for that.
Game case is just dead, notably. Actually, Fish not being able to ult there was key as the Ignite getting put onto him. He's going to take him down. As we actually had a fight here, bot side, I didn't even notice it. The Glacial Fisher gets burned to interrupt the ultimate, but I'm not sure if it really mattered, as this Brand is just getting more and more powerful. Flash forward from the side of Nevada, taking down Evan. And it's going to be a 2v2 for the side of SKT and a trade of kills in the mid lane.
Yeah, sloppy plays from Sharks, to be honest. Fishy thought he wouldn't kill him fast enough. I think a bit of a miscommunication between him and Giraffe there. He needed to be able to get the ultimate off to reset turret aggro, and he just didn't get that opportunity. And then bot lane, Ray and Nevada just straight up outplayed.
And Giraffe actually looking for something on the bot side. I'm not sure if they are going to give himself safety. He doesn't have a shockwave yet, but he might be able to look for something. He does have that damage as his roller is complete, and Q not going to connect, but I don't think Nevada's going to be able to get herself out of this one. And no, she's not. As it's like, this is when you, I guess you do on all, or Giraffe is just going to take that kill, as it looks like that Chow a bit too far up here again, as not really what you want to see on the side of your top lane. Like, I'm so like strong this game, but yeah, he's going to get taken down shortly. As more and more, they actually are doing a good job of getting Tuxedo back in this game. He actually is even in kills now with Chow. So, nice job.
And Chow held down to 66 CS here. Gold lead is over to SKT and in a pretty meaningful way.
They actually getting found out here, but I'm not sure if it was him getting found out or it was Fishy, as Fishy getting forced to back away. This very, very scary Brand with the Rylai's. The W actually does connect from the side of Nevada. That was really well aimed, as maybe they can look for something more, but no. Oh, the flash forward from Ray. Oh, it's not enough. Oh, that's so unfortunate that they're not able to get that kill. And a lot of resources.
That was really good movement from Fishy. I thought he was screwed. The E times out, kicks him out of the wall, and he makes sure that it angles him directly towards the wall so he can Q over. That was very tricky to pull off directly. So, shout out to that.
Very tricky to pull off directly indeed. As more. I mean, Chow's just getting targeted at this point. I mean, they must have a vendetta against them. But I guess it's fine when you have a vendetta, when you can get more kills. However, he does have a decent amount of tankiness. The Unending Despair healing up enough. However, the Ignite's going to get put down, so no more of that healing. As it looks like the Tuxedo walking forward more and more, as Apari is looking to follow. But no, the thrown spear from Tuxedo going to be finding Chow and taking him down. Tuxedo now on a killing spree. As you think, as bad as like the very opening stages of this game went, SKT starting to pull it back actually. Several bounties onto their members. However, despite all this going, you know, not as Rift Sharks really intended, especially in this like mid game, I think a big shining point is actually the fact that Giraffe actually does have a lot of farm, a lot of kills. His Orion is really strong, has plenty of defensive items as well, keep himself safe. So maybe as long as
good smite away from Apari there.
it's really nice.
Yeah, the scaling upside for Rift Sharks, though, I think is pretty massive. We haven't seen the Smolder really come online yet, and I think once he does, these fights are going to look very differently. Ori can
actually, Giraffe might be getting caught out here. Looks like they might just burn everything. Can he get the ultimate down? He does actually get the shockwave down, as it looks like that Tuxedo is going to be taken down immediately, but Rift Sharks is going to be a bit late to the fight. Evan all alone, as it looks like that Frederick got burned instantly, not able to burn his exhaust in that fight. Tuxedo getting a double kill. It looks like they might follow for more, and yes, they do. Fishy looking a bit dangerous. The W doesn't connect on the side of Nevada, but it looks like they might just chase Fishy to the next world, but it doesn't look like they will. As actually 3 kills going over there from SKT, and that's the power of that comp. Quickly picking members and killing them before Rift Sharks can react.
Yeah, the Lissandra ultimate there was very clutch, able to dodge a lot of the damage out from the double ultimates coming out from Braum and Oriana. And Chow wasn't able to get a piece off in that fight, which is very important.
And more and more, we are going to see heavy investments into defensive items, as it looks like that Giraffe will pick himself up a arm guard. I don't even blame him, because I think it's honestly correct. Like, there's so much dive and danger to him, especially from this SKT comp, that he probably is going to need to like heavily invest into things that can keep himself alive for a bit more longer in these fights.
And the lack of engage on Rift Sharks does put us in a little bit of a tough position here. We're mainly just looking for counter engage with the like Ori-Cho and Braum, but if we get to a point where they can kill us so fast that the counter engage doesn't do much, it does put Rift Sharks in a really bad position here. I think they're kind of on the edge of that, haven't really reached that point yet, so they need to play a little more isolated, not do these 5-on-5 team fights just for a little while until they can get back into the game, but that's really hard to actually execute on when Soul Point is given over to SKT at 19 minutes.
They might look for something on the game case here. Game knows Rift Sharks in the area, and he's taking a lot of damage. Shockwave not reacting in time. Game case falling to Giraffe. Really nice kill. However, it looks like that the ultimate's popped as Evan getting caught out on mid, but he actually does correctly use the Smolder E to get away, and it looks like he might chase as Ray looking to hit the slows, as he does hit the slows, and burning down more and more and more. The exhaust gets burned onto the brand. I don't think that was your target, Frennick, however, as it looks like that Fishy is, however, onto Nevada, and maybe able to look at Nevada with a really nice flash, but we're into the waiting arms of Chow, as it looks like it's going to be a 3v3 going to start developing, as maybe Apari can look for the kill on the Fishy. The Q doesn't connect with it, so Apari gets taken down by Chow. Tuxedo not throwing the Q, instead just jabbing with it, so he's going to get taken down as well. Complete disaster from the side of SKT as multiple members goes down. However, Ray able to keep his bounty, and man, what you really not want to see is like a fight devolving like that for the side of SKT. I think they were making too many separate plays with their Lissandra away.
Shockwave's back up now.
It's gonna get burnt, and Game Case just not even realizing that the cooldown's up, getting taken down again.
Yeah, this is kind of the Rift Sharks signature. It's been this way pretty much every season of Rift Sharks. I've just made sure to focus on getting players who can just team fight the absolute shit out of things, and it results in a lot of plays like this where any slight error in execution in the mid game gets punished super hard. So love to see that kind of continue this season. But looked like Nevada might have had something there, but Friendly and Fishy feeling really, really well there. Next drag up in 2 minutes is going to be a big deal. If they're able to get the Cloud Soul, I think it's going to be really tough for Smolder to be able to stay away from a lot of the targets that want to chase him down. Can you check Smolder stats?
Yeah.
If you double tap 4, it should do it. Okay, 149 right now. He's a bit behind on pace. Actually, significantly behind. You want to be a lot farther ahead than that. Credit to Ray and Nevada for playing the lane so well for that. So.
The challenge. It's just so tinky to the point, but I'm not sure if it can really be dealt with. I mean, this Cho'Gath, like, even though he did get really ahead in lane, I mean, he started to like fall behind due to like, you know, the heavy pressure that the party was putting on. But at the end of the day, it is just another one of like Chao's tank picks. He's just gonna scale, get a bunch of health, be useful in the team fights. And I mean, this, not to say this Pantheon won't, but it is very annoying when you do have a huge tank that has an ability that can just execute one of your champions, and also it can just take a lot of damage and pressure away.
Looks like Rift Sharks is set up pretty well for this dragon.
Well.
They have the death push going.
Looks like they might have got found out, as they know that there's a lot of members in that bush, so Pari, quite careful. Looks like that they are just positioning for this Drake here. I mean, it is another scenario where can they stop SKT from getting the soul? But I think SKT is in a much more favorable position than they were initially, as both sides poking and prodding, trying to find a weakness.
Yeah, and the Rift Sharks is not going to be favored in a 5v5 team fight here. So the fact that they're looking to pull one, they have the position that they need to have, but it's not looking great for them right now.
Not looking great at all, as it looks like that they are going to be pushed up against this Drake shortly. And they're going to be taking the toss out of it as well. SKT takes the bottom side. Current call going to be burned, as this Drake going to be going lower and lower and lower. But for the side of Rift Sharks, the time to fight is now, as this is the soul, and it is a Cloud soul. And Case not opting to go in, as probably a mistake, but the JW does get burned, and Ray doing so much damage with this brand and slowing everyone on Rift Sharks. However, the shockwave does land on the 2. Draft does Zonius, however, he is feared. He cleanses the fear, but he does maybe gets himself out to safety, as the Jhin does get taken down. Fishy playing this fight actually really well, as multiple members going down and GameCase going down to follow, and this fight is just not going the way of SKT. That's not what you want to see, is your Jhin getting blown up like that instantly. The Drake is slain, and it looks like they might go for a chase. No, they won't, as it looks like that they can just push the mid lane. Really nice fight.
Not having ultimate, he really wants to go for one, but he's not going to. And something you did call out was the Rylai's could be a concern for Kayn, but he's actually not able to be slowed during his E in the blue form. I think it's only for the initial part of it, but that does help a lot with him being able to weave in and out of team fights. I think if he had gone red Kayn, he would have just been completely screwed. But he played that fight almost perfectly, and you see the Smolder now starting to come online. He has the Shojin.
He's going to find on the top side. He has the Ignite is burned, and he's just going to get completely decimated by Tuxedo. And Frederick might have caught out here, as opting not to follow, but he may get a lot of damage. As actually, it looks like he might just step forward here, as there is some fighting here in mid lane. Frederick having to invest his flash, but the Cho'Gath is in the area, but not able to do really anything at all.
Yeah, Nocturne's in a really good position here if they choose to make a fight. Frederick not having ultimate, and neither does Evan. Hug with a really good flank here.
Tug does have a really good flank, but he does get spotted up with the Orianna Orb. I'm not sure he realized it fast enough, as it looks like that they are just going to be going on to him. But Frennick all alone and not long for the world that he is, as he is taken down. And Tuxedo maybe having to look to get away. Maybe he ults away here. Be careful, guys, as nope, he decides not to ult away. However, he does go down to Chow in the end of it.
Yeah, and that is going to be mid lane turret going over to SKT, and they might be able to find another one here. Fishy trying his best to keep him off, but he is quite squishy. Sub 2k HP right now.
I think once once Rift Shark starts to get a couple more defensive like items complete, I think that the game actually will sort of significantly more difficult for the side of SKT. This.
Keep your eye on the Zonia's purchase that will be coming through for Giraffe at some point. He did just have to break the hourglass.
He did just have to break he did break the hourglass, but I think it was a really good job. I mean, it stopped like there to jump onto him. And, you know, they actually decided, let's just start the Baron up, as I think that a party actually walked up to go hit the bot wave. I'm not sure why you'd want to do that when Baron is spawning, and Frennick getting stunned up a lot, but I'm not sure if it really matters at all, because he is just soaking up a ton of damage as the Jhin ult is burned, and it looks like Apari trying to get in. He doesn't get in time, as he's just going into the waiting arms of Rift Sharks, and it looks like that they might continue to follow up, as things are just looking a bit dicey and a bit scary, but it looks like that they will be able to get themselves to safety.
I still don't think Rift Sharks in a position where they love the 5v5 team fight. I think they're just going to try and poke out with Smolder and wait for Ori or Kayn to just get picks. They have Braum and Cho to kind of disengage from these fights, but in a full-on fight, it's actually going to be a lot easier for Cho to fall down, as we saw in the last fight where Brain was able to get a bunch of damage on him. Ray's still yet to die this game, in contrast with the solo laners having 7 and 8 deaths respectively. Giraffe actually able to secure that blue buff, and he might be able to get a couple more kills when this fight breaks out.
All just going and looking for more as the Shockwave actually able to get a solo kill on to the Lysandra, but Giraffe going to be falling down himself to Tuxedo, but it is going to be a 1 for 3 for the side of Rift Sharks, and it looks like that they are going to be able to get a bit more control in this game. And I think in this game, Rift Sharks, you just need to be really careful. This Drake is spawning soon, so push and hit what turrets you need to do, like, you know, you need to hit, but try to keep yourselves back to base and get ready for this Drake fight. That will inevitably
notably, I think the gold trade for those kills was even, but the fact that there are 3 members dead in exchange for 1 is definitely something that can be punished. The full 1k shutdown going on to Tuxedo evens things out, but Pantheon is probably not who you want the gold going on to this late in the game, but honestly, none of the champions on SKT scale particularly well, with the exception of possibly Jhin, depending on how you play the game. So, I don't know, it's tough to know who to allocate gold to on that team. The shutdown on Fishy, if he can go over to Jhin, is a big deal, but not sure.
I think a critical part of like this game so far for the side of SKT is that they've actually been able to put a lot of good pressure onto the carries. And it looks like we should have a fight on the top side, but I'm not sure if Chow should be opting into it. I mean, the Pantheon does have a cleaver and is quite strong. You're not going to get burned. I think Chow actually is going to get taken down here. And it's looking really close. And yes, he does. He does get taken down. Not able to invest the feast. As it looks like that a fight might be brewing here. As Fishy looking for something, maybe anything at all. But Tuxedo does have TP up now with his upgraded quest. So everything's looking at just a bit more scary as the Drake is going to be spawning shortly. As looks like Tuxedo will be able to get himself a base and get himself a bit more stronger. There's the pickaxe purchase. As the Sharks trying to like position and look for something, but Apari critically burns Splash at the beginning of this fight. But Frentic caught out by the Jhin W doesn't have the Brahmi up. Glacial Freezers burned Frentic in the wrong place at the wrong time and getting taken down. And now you got to play for some type of miracle steal as the Soul might just go over for the side. SKT, but Genghis gets insta-killed by the Kane. As it looks like that as Rift Sharks is walking forward, double shockwave on to 2 members of SKT, and this fight is going down. Fishy's taking everyone. He takes out Apari, gets the Soul. Beautiful fighting from the side of Rift Sharks. In a 4v5, they take down 5, and it's an ace for them.
Yeah, and Fishy showing how to fucking play Kayn. I feel like some people have not been picking it this season because it's not in the meta or whatever, but Fishy played that perfectly. He swerves into the fight, takes out the Lysandra, and not only does he kill the Nocturne, he steals the Dragon as well, and just so well played from him in this game. It was basically an impossible Kayn spot, and he still looked fucking incredible. Obviously, Giraffe, huge standout performance from here. Those 13, 3, and 10, but that is just going to be the series for Rift Sharks. Swift 2-0, and this is the form that we want to see from this team. Or girls. maybe we throw here, actually.
But it looks like, no, that's just going to be a nice 2-0 sweep for the side of Rift Sharks. GG, well played to them. As getting a nice win and making a statement series, actually. And winning both games in a very clean and dominating fashion. Second game, a couple of hiccups, however, they did like lock it down and were able to.
I was gonna say, I don't think game 2. I would say we probably weren't clean and dominating.
Game 2 was a bit more messy, but they actually did end up like fighting really well out of a lot of tough spots. I think that the last team fight was actually a very clean team fight from them. And I think honestly for both these games, if I had to pick an MVP, I would just say Giraffe. I mean, it's just both the games. Complete just monster performance from him. I mean, completely dominates lane in both games. Gets super far ahead. Is just a rock for his team to fall back on. Every fight, like the shockwaves were good. The Victor game, he played extremely cleanly. I mean, yeah, I don't have anything else to say.
Yeah, I'm gonna go hop and congratulate my team. Yeah. I think if you want to keep casting, let's do the second and possibly third games of NYMB versus Inferno. Okay. If you want to be done, I'll just hop on and get that myself. I'm fine either way.
I'll pivot into them.
Okay, cool. Just cut stream and then restream. And I'll join you in a bit. I gotta make the rest of my.
All right. Okay, we'll see you soon.